Nah, you ain't knock me out. Yo, my trainer saved you.
Here I was thinking, after the trilogy, after Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder had the third fight and Fury knocking him out again, I thought that was the end of Glovegate. I thought, okay, it's all settled now. You've done all your checks, everything was in place, you're all happy with all the procedures and everything that went through to get to that point, to get into the ring. And you being Deontay Wilder, I thought you accepted everything that happened, and now that you've been knocked out again, now in your head you know the second one was legit. If you could do it the third time with everything being fair, or is it trying to say Tyson Fury cheated again in the third fight, he snuck in another egg weight or something else this time? He didn't exactly clarify that, but I'm sure he's left that on the table. He said, Tyson Fury is a cheater. But I guess for the most part, he's referring to the second fight. He didn't exactly mention the third fight in his more recent interview. Anyways, he said,
I don't condone and cheating and shit like that. I know that no matter what people say, it's just like people use, you have analysts or whatever. If he did have something in the glove, or if he did something, why did you not go to the authorities? And I wish I was in front of them. I can grab their collar, and I would grab their collar and put them close to my face so we can be eye to eye, face to face, so much that my breath touched their face. And I would tell them, why the fuck would I go to the authorities when I have an opportunity to release my own energy and put my hands upon him in the possibility of trying to kill him and get paid millions of dollars doing it? To the authorities. Okay, go to the authorities. They lock them up. Then what's next? That's it. A good write-up. Okay, we proved our case. Nobody getting fed. What justice did that done? That don't make no sense. That sounds like somebody that's not non-confrontational, that don't supposed to be in no combat sports because their mindset ain't set on combat. It's set on being nice. So that old theory don't even make sense to me.
okay, that's all fair and good. That's all fair and good, right? You grab the reporter by his collar, he smells your hot breath, and blah blah blah. You tell him what you want to do to Fury in the third fight, right? And the third fight came. You had the third fight. You had the opportunity to do whatever you wanted to do to him. You allegedly wanted to murder him and all this stuff. You've had the opportunity and you couldn't get it done. You got knocked out again. What is it not? Why is it not settled? Why does this just have to keep going on forever? It makes no sense. Or are you trying to say he cheated again in the third fight? Like I said earlier, it makes absolutely no sense. You don't want the authorities to deal with him. You wanted to deal with him yourself. You had the opportunity to deal with him. You exerted justice on him. So justice been served, no? So it's all over, no? I guess not. But to be honest with you, we would all drive ourselves crazy trying to understand the mind of Deontay Wilder. He's just the most deluded boxer in the division. In the division, as he would say. He's the most deluded one running about. He's still going on about Ortiz being this avoided fighter and all this stuff. Like, fam, do you actually follow the sport? Do you know what's been going on? You know how many offers this guy has turned down? How many times he turned down Dillian Whyte? Was it twice or so? No, he definitely turned Dillian Whyte down once. Joshua, before the Ruiz fight, he turned that down. That fake narrative, you just want to cling on to it for life, just to boost your self-esteem. That knocked out this feared boogeyman. He was no feared boogeyman. A lot of guys been calling Ortiz out over the years. He just refused to have those fights until more recently with the Charles Martin fight, which I was actually surprised he managed to knock out Charles Martin, because I had Martin beating him before the fight started, and Martin put him down round 1, put him down I think in round 4 as well, before Ortiz managed to get the job done. And then now he's just lost Andrew Ruiz, got bad pillar to post by Andrew Ruiz, dropped down, just bounced off up and down the canvas like a yo-yo. So it is what it is. So the myth's been busted. There's no boogeyman. There's never been no boogeyman. He just refused to have the tough fights. Just never had the tough fights. Apart from Deontay Wilder, who's still unproven in my opinion. But yeah, apart from Deontay Wilder, he never had no tough fights. So we never could really gauge where it was at. Deontay Wilder would have preferred for it to stay that way. At least maybe even Ortiz retired after he fought him, so he can cling on to that forever. There's all this bouncing up and down the canvas by Andy Ruiz and Charles Martin knocking him down. All of that, it's not looking good. It's not looking good on Wilder's CVs. dictating Wilder's greatest victory. So that's why Wilder keeps doing all this damage control and interviews, trying to still boost him up, trying to do all that revisionist history crap, talking about all this and that. People would avoiding him and had to take on other people's mandatory and all that. Listen, that's not really true. It's not really true. You're just using technicalities to boost your CV, trying to prop this guy up. We all know the truth. Ortiz has never had no tough fights. Down to him. He was the one turning down fights over the years. He's not the only fighter in the division to struggle to book big fights. It's happened all across the board. A lot of fighters are in that boat where they can't actually get the big fights. That's just how it is. You have to be patient, and then the fight's gonna come your way. When it comes your way, you jump on it. It came Ortiz's way, he turned them down. He turned down AJ before the Andrew Ruiz fight. Listen, if he was this eager fighter to jump in whenever or wherever, he would have took that opportunity to fight AJ at Madison Square Garden like Andrew Ruiz did. He was much higher up the list than Andrew Ruiz at the time. Ortiz would have fought Joshua at Madison Square Garden, and win or lose, he would have had this opportunity. He could have become champion, but he turned it down. So this narrative, crap, complete BS. He turned down $7 million to fight AJ. So Deontay Wilder acting like he's some philanthropist for giving Ortiz the second fight. That's crap. That's crap. It's quite obvious now that Ortiz was probably promised a second Wilder fight in order to turn down the AJ fight. That's the only reasonable explanation, because there were some discrepancies between his team at the time. Some wanted the fight, some didn't want the fight. It was a weird miscommunication coming from the camp, from Ortiz's camp. So yeah, the bottom line is they turned down the offer. So all of this, people ducked him, people didn't want to give him an opportunity, and I came along, I blessed him twice. BS. Anyways, Deontay Wilder does have a fight coming up next week against the Nordic Nightmare Robert Helenius. I don't think that's gonna be an easy fight for him. I think Helenius is gonna give him all he can handle, and I do favour Wilder going into this fight, but it wouldn't shock me if Helenius lands one of those hellacious right hands. We saw Kovnatski catch a lot of those right hands, and yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he manages to put Wilder away. It should be an interesting fight, because trying to gauge Wilder's mind state heading into that fight, it doesn't seem right. But then again, this is on brand. Wilder's always been like this, so yeah, you can't really take too much out of him still being in his deluded bag. It's still Deontay Wilder, but yeah, good luck to him in that fight, and may the best man win. Also, according to Frank Warren, talks between Queensberry and Matchroom over the Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight, the non-fight not scheduled to take place this year. And Frank Warren says negotiations have been put on hold to show respect to the Queen since the passing of the Queen. They've put everything on hold. What sense does that make? So you have time to do interviews, to give interviews, and you don't have time to pick up the phone or send a few emails or text messages. However you guys negotiate, you can't negotiate, but you can give interviews. It makes absolutely no sense. Like I said, there's not going to be any fight. Mahmoud Shah is probably already in training camp, getting ready to fight in December. They've had December 17th booked in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. That was supposed to be Chisora. I guess that's probably going to be Char or some other clown. That's probably what's going to happen. There's not going to be no AJ Tyson Fury fight. That's not going down. It's not going down. The date just makes absolutely no sense. And you expect him to be ready to fight you at some point in mid-November, late November, early December. It doesn't make any sense. So we've had a few people from Queensberry speaking on a December 17th date prior to this AJ Usyk fight. During the Chisora negotiations, they've been talking about December 17th. They've had that date booked. That date's been reserved, but all of a sudden, December 17th is not available to AJ. In the initial video Tyson Fury put up the call out for AJ, he said, AJ, fight me in December. December is not November. Those are two completely different months. So how does December turn into mid-November, late November? What's going on there? Where did that come from? Are we talking about December or are we talking about November? What's going on there? and then they're coming up with 24 hours deadline and all sorts of weird stuff. What's that about? Do you want to get the fight done, or do you not want to get the fight done? What's with the hurdles you're putting up? If you're really receptive to and you're very desperate to get this fight cracking, you give them whatever leeway they want. Whatever they want, you provide that to them, so they don't have any room to wiggle out. No wiggle room at all. Don't provide them. They can easily say, oh, they give us 24 hours, that wasn't enough time. That's an easy excuse for Matchroom and AJ to cling on to if they don't want the fight to happen. So why are you creating all these obstacles if you're actually that keen on getting it done? It makes absolutely no sense. Why are you providing them with a way out of the fight if you're really trying to call their bluff? Why are you providing them with a deadline which is unreasonable to anyone with a brain? Okay, so let me have this right. You give them a deadline, right? Say within 24 hours we'll have to hear, you have to accept our offer, the entire offer. You have to accept it within 24 hours, right? And the queen dies, and then all of a sudden you can mourn for about 4 to 5 days and then continue negotiations in the following week. Like, I thought the world was gonna end if the offer wasn't accepted in 24 hours. It's stupid. Anyways, we'll see how this develops over the next few days, because the mourning period, I guess officially the mourning period ends Monday next week, so we'll see if they plan on continuing this week, or we're supposed to hold tight until next week. We'll see how this develops. As usual, thoughts down in the comment section below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you're new around here, notification bell after on so you know exactly what's going on over here. Twitter's !UK. I'm out.